Thank you for staying tuned. As we look ahead to 2026, economists like Bismarck Rewani project that Nigeria is heading for one of its strongest growth phases in a decade, driven significantly by the tech and creative industries. But how do Nigerian professionals and businesses ensure they don't just participate in this boom, but lead it? Our guest today is a technology executive who bridges the gap between African talent and global digital economy. He is Dr. Dittimi, a tech visionary with a PhD in artificial intelligence and machine learning from Concordia University in Canada. Dr. Finn is not just an academic, he has applied his expertise to drive over $50 million in revenue for industry giants like Bell and Bombardier. According to, as the founder of Funds Consultancy, he has equipped over 1,500 students with practical skills and now served as an advisor to Canada's digital adoption program. Dr. Finn's mission is clear: to help Nigerians and Africans leverage technology to secure borderless opportunities. He's here today to give us the definitive roadmap for future-proofing your career in 2026. Dr. Finn, thank you so much for joining the program.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, with your background in AI, first let's talk about the coming year. What is the single most critical shift Nigerian businesses and professionals must make right now to ensure they are leveraging, not competing, with artificial intelligence in 2026?
The biggest shift we're seeing is that people need to stop being afraid of AI and become more fluent in AI. Because we see in 2026, AI will not replace businesses. But businesses that fail to integrate AI will replace themselves. We're seeing that there are some areas where you can easily get high return on investment, even fast return on investment, and those areas include automation, which means that how do you serve customers better using automation, so customer support? How do you aggregate your data utilizing AI better? How do you market better? How do you optimize the way you sell to your clients better? How do you manage your internal operations, the workflow efficiency, so you're able to deliver value to customers at a lower operational cost? And for professionals, AI should be used more to increase speed and to increase output. Also for better decision making, because we live in a world now where you need to move from gut feeling to actual predictable results or outcome based on data. And enhancing your problem solving and not just executing will help you be better. And we're seeing that Nigerian businesses that embed AI into their existing workflows rather than try to reinvent the way will win faster. And AI is not here to compete with Nigerians. It's here to amplify the Nigerians who know how to use it.
So where is the fastest ROI for businesses investing in AI today?
So one of the key areas is customer support. One of the things we've seen that AI can help you do is that you don't need to have 24 hours human support for your businesses. You can now utilize AI to serve where your team is actually sleeping. Which means that you can now serve globally, because you're able to offer value 24/7 using technology. Also, how do you make sure that you have the right prediction in terms of how much you're going to sell, how much you're going to be able to deliver, and also how to optimize for the right markets? Now, if you, based from Lagos, you're able to serve clients in the US, the UK, Canada, and different places around the world and offer them value by understanding their market without necessarily going there. In addition to utilizing it to identify gaps that you can cut costs on in your business, save time, and be able to reapply that revenue into other areas to grow your business faster.
The lure of six-figure salary in foreign currency is strong, but, moving forward with this, sorry, just a moment. Now, if we're looking at the lure for salaries, many would tell you that there is more that we can get from more than just salaries. Now, you have helped many to achieve this beyond the tech skills and all of this. Now, what specific operational or professional soft skill now must be mastered to not only land but also keep a remote role clearly? Can you hear me?
The first one is good. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
clearly.
sorry, there was all right, go ahead.
Yeah. So the first thing we're seeing is global positioning. Your CV must speak business impact, not just the skills that you've acquired. Because recruiters in Canada, UK, and US are looking for outcomes that is tied to their revenue, tied to cost savings, tied to efficiency and improvement. So your local experience needs to be framed into global value language because you're now looking to work globally. So you need to present yourself, and your CV needs to show how you can contribute to outcome, not just how you can get tasks done. Secondly, you need to be ready to work remotely. And a lot of people take this for granted. Companies are not hiring you because you're a good talent. They are hiring because you are low risk and you can operate within the boundaries of their company structure, which means that you have the discipline to work in the time zone. So let's say if it's a different time zone, you have the discipline to be able to work there. Documentation skills. People need to be able to communicate via documents that you have created, and it is clear enough that people understand your intention. Thirdly, asynchronous communication, that you are reachable. Not that you're working online and you're not reachable through the working time or not available for me. So your ability to be disciplined. And have clear reporting. If you estimated that you're going to deliver a particular item and work at a particular time, you should be accountable to meet expectations, because companies want people that they can trust, and trust is something that you build over time. Thirdly, strategic job targeting. Most people just apply to job randomly in hope that you're going to be able to get an opportunity. But what we're seeing with high earner is that they are targeting specific companies and networking intentionally with people that are already broken into these markets, align their skills with outcome for the business. Because if you're going to somebody in the real estate space that needs somebody to help them to manage their operations, but you're sounding like somebody that's coming from the healthcare space, it doesn't align with your business. So it's important that if you want to win the remote job market, it's not only about talent, it's about building trust by making sure that you're ready to be positioned globally. Secondly, you are able to work without micromanagement. And thirdly, you are targeting and you're part of the right community that helps you be able to soar.
Yeah, so earlier I was talking about you because I read a lot about you. You've helped many to achieve beautiful salary levels. I think I need to get to meet Dr. Finn so I can also get these 6-digit foreign currency salaries. But beyond just having a tech skill, I want to ask you clearly that what is a 3-step non-negotiable strategy required to successfully apply for and secure a remote job with a global firm in the likes of Canada, the UK, or the US?
So one of the key things we've seen that's important is the first thing first, you need to be clear on what you want to achieve, because a lot of time people are looking for opportunities without actually looking inward. What is your capacity? What skills have you acquired over the years? Because there's something a lot of we begin to realize that the biggest people that are able to move over are those that are able to identify their transferable skills. What are the things you've used in the banking sector, the healthcare sector, the FMCG sector, that you can reposition to add value as you go? And then the second step is now identifying the roles within and the industries that need those skill sets remotely. And then acquiring the skill set within those industries and then positioning yourself as a solution giver. Not someone that has skill set, but someone that can solve a problem. And building a portfolio to show proof, because you see that proof now is more important than certificates. And your ability to show proof that I have solved it previously, here are my skill set, this is how I can add value to you, will help you stand out.
Again, in your work, you've identified a readiness gap amongst many skilled Nigerians. Now, they have the technical know-how but lack remote work polish. Dr. Finn, what specific operational or professional soft skill must be mastered to not only keep a remote role?
Remote teams don't work in meetings, because people assume the fact that working remotely, you just need to show up to meetings and then you have met your KPI. No. They work in documentation and clarity. What's the operational processes? What have you done? What have you delivered? Are people clear on your outcome? Because communication requires you to have a set outcome, communicate it to the person person understands it, and then you meet it, right? So your ability to write clear updates is important. That is not ambiguous. The person needs to understand what you intended to deliver. Then document decisions, action items. What did we say we're going to do? When did we say it's going to be done? Did we meet it? And you communicate progress without being asked. If something is going to be due on Friday and you've had it for 3 weeks, you need to communicate progress, because one of the mistakes people make is that you wait till the last minute to ask for extension. You've known you had it start for 3 weeks. Why didn't you share information to show the progress and also show the roadblocks that you're facing, so that you're able to either eliminate it or transfer the risk or extend it. And this skill separates contractors from leaders because you're able to grow if you're able to show ownership. And short-term hires also from long-term hires because if you're able to position yourself as an integral part of process. And we're also seeing that one thing is that many Nigerians lose roles not due to their skill gaps. And that's something we're trying to change because we're seeing that the biggest problem is communication friction. Are you able to communicate clearly, both verbally and non-verbally with your documents? Are you able to keep people abreast? Are people able to trust your outcomes? And tell you, are you able to communicate changes in process before it becomes too late? Because in remote work, clarity is your currency.
For Nigerian businesses and SMEs that are scaling, how can they leverage this same globalized talent pool to hire for growth? And what lessons can local companies learn from the remote-first policies of global powerhouses about retaining?
For Nigerian businesses, the first thing they need to look at is hiring skills, not geography. Because if you look at it, and what has worked is that companies first start with hybrid processes. Hybrid meaning that you have certain days you come to and certain days you can work remotely so as to be able to test it and build the culture. Because culture is a way of life of a people, and you bring in a new way of life. So you need to train them to make that part of their day-to-day processes. And to do that, you need to phase it in using the hybrid process, where you have offshore talent for like tech, data, operations that do not require physically meeting together. But you want to leave your local teams for execution or delivery in your local market. Because remote-first companies succeed because they measure outcomes. They don't focus on the amount of hours you're spending. They focus on the value you're able to give. They build trust with systems. So systems that gives them visibility, what you've worked on, when you finished it, how you did it, so that you do not have to physically micromanage or supervise you. And they retain talent through flexibility and autonomy, which means that they ensure that you feel comfortable doing your work at the given time, but ensuring that you feel that you are in control. And 3 things we're seeing that Nigerian SMEs can adopt from remote first thinking is first, reduce your overhead. Because having a physical office, having people there, having a bunch of activities, and I was speaking to an HR leader last week, and one of the key things that was beneficial for them for remote, especially in Nigeria, was the remote model for trainees. Previously, they had to get hundreds of thousands of people stop operations in order to train their teams. But now they're able to partition them and train them more effectively, and they were able to cut their overhead costs. Secondly, access to global expertise. Now you do not necessarily need to fly people in to come add value. You can remotely work with them and add value to your businesses. And you can scale faster without infrastructural bottlenecks of bigger office, bigger fleets, bigger operational costs. Because the future of Nigerian business growth is not the bigger offices. It's smarter teams.
Well, many people feel they've missed the boat because they don't code. Given your work in digital transformation, what are the 2 most profitable, high-demand, non-coding tech roles that Nigerian professionals should be urgently pivoting to exactly in 2026, and why?
The first area is product and project management, because these roles sit in the intersection of the business, technology, and strategy. They're the ones who build the softwares that we're using. We're seeing the boom in the fintech sector.
Yeah.
Somebody first needs to have the idea. Somebody needs to understand how customers will use it. Somebody needs to document the functionalities before implementation is done by the software developer. So we need these guys to translate the ideas into execution first. Because think about like a restaurant. When you go to find any restaurant, a waiter takes your order and takes it to the chef to be able to, and then the waiter brings it back. But if the chef gets a wrong order from the waiter, then you get it wrong. For the same thing within the implementation space, we need project manager, product guys to actually take those ideas, break it down, detail it down for the software developers to implement. And also AI still needs decision makers. So this role cannot even be replaced by AI because we need businesses, and businesses need coordination, they need prioritization, they need delivery. And the second area is data and business analytics. Data analysts turn raw data into business decisions. Now, people don't build businesses based on emotions anymore. They're building businesses based on what has worked, based on predictable outcomes. And we're seeing that companies that are able to position themselves to be data-driven, able to grow faster. They're able to pay higher, they're able to have globally transferable skill set that is available, and they're able to grow their business. So now we're seeing that you don't need to code. And funny enough, the statistics to back it that over 70% of jobs nowadays are looking for data fluency. They're looking for problem-solving skills more than actually implementation. Because with AI, vibe coding, and other type of copilot tools for implementation of softwares are now becoming available. So you don't need to code to end globally. You must now understand how technology is creating business value. Identify roles like business analyst, project manager, operational roles like project management, virtual assistants, or even data analytics role to help businesses plug gaps in their business, identify new opportunities, and increase their bottom line.
Dr. Fin Dittimi, always interesting having you speak around the tech industry generally. It's always a nice one. Thank you, a tech visionary. He has a PhD in artificial intelligence and machine learning. Hope to see you again soon, and compliments of the season, I must say.
Thank you for having me. Compliments of the season.
All right, then.